Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide divorce, mediation, and valuation services in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we'll discuss business value drivers with John Warilow. He is the founder of the Value Builder System, which is a practice management software for business advisors. And he has a best-selling book called Built to Sell, Creating a Business That Can Thrive Without You. It was recognized by both Fortune and Inc. magazine as one of the best business books and has been translated into 12 languages. He's also written a few more books that we'll talk to you later about. But prior to founding the Value Builder System, he started and exited 4 different companies, including one acquired by a public company. He lives with his family in Toronto, and you can follow him by signing up at builttosell.com. He also has a podcast, and we'll talk more about that as well. We have several people that are in the process of selling their company, and it always comes down to, like, when should I tell my employees? Like, well, I'm thinking of selling, because a lot of times these businesses have had long-term employees, or even when an owner starts to do anything slightly different, people are going to know, if you even show up, if you drink a different coffee, people are going to know. So if you start doing something profound, like meetings where you're not telling anybody where you're going and things like that, then they're going to start wondering. So is there a best time to tell them, or should you just tell them at the beginning?
Yeah, look, this is a tricky one, because I agree with you. A lot of entrepreneurs feel like they need to tell their employees. They feel like they're morally obligated to tell their employees. A lot of entrepreneurs hire family members, treat employees as if they were family members. And so it becomes like you're a cheating spouse and you're kind of skulking around the office with this terrible secret, and you're not telling anybody. And it can feel very duplicitous and just hypocritical and terrible and very uneasy for a lot of owners. And I think that is a problem. Here's the other side of the coin, though. And that is that if you choose to tell your employees, there are 2 problems with that. Number one, what are your employees going to do? They're going to feel like their job is in jeopardy. No matter how many times you tell them it's not, they will. And what are they going to do? They're going to go brush up their LinkedIn resume, their LinkedIn profile, and they're going to shop that experience that you gave them to your competitors, right? If you've given them experience in an industry, they're going to go to the people in the industry, and your industry is going to find out you're for sale, and that diminishes your negotiating leverage with an acquirer. Number one. I think the other thing to keep in mind, and I know, Melissa, you've seen this in your own work, is that not all businesses that enter into a negotiation to sell actually close those transactions. A lot of people think it's less than half of all letters of intent finally get consummated. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I think it's a fairly significant proportion of deals that even go so far as to a letter of intent never actually close. And so what have you done? You've created chaos among your employees. You've made them fear their job, all for what? For maybe nothing in the end. And so, look, I'm not a big fan of telling your employees, even though it is a situation where what is morally correct is often strategically wrong. I think the best thing to do is divide your employees into 2 buckets. You've got most employees, your rank and file employees, who find out when the check clears your bank account, right? When the acquisition is closed. And then maybe you've got 2 or 3 key people, maybe a finance person, maybe a marketing person, a salesperson, who need to know, right? Because you're going to be going through management presentations. You're going to go through this whole process that people are going to find, your senior people might find out. In those cases, you want to make sure they've got an NDA and give some skin in the game. Make sure that they've got some incentive to help you close the sale. It could be options. It could be just a stay bonus. It could be a success bonus that you pay contingent on you successfully selling your business. But those, I think, are just a couple, 2 or 3 people that you let under the covers. For most people, I think they find out after the fact.
Well, and even those couple people should probably have employment contracts with the company. So these are some of the things that you can do a couple of years before you go to sell. Get employee agreements, do various things that get you more saleable. But the other thing is, I think that when, we work together with our employees and things like that, and you're very transparent with information. But the reality is you're also burdening them with the information. So you think you're being truthful to your employees and you're providing them information, but you're really confusing them, because if you change your mind, then they're like, "Oh, what? Okay, now we're not selling. Are we selling? I planned on not selling. Now we're selling. Now we're not selling." Like, you're actually creating more chaos in their world, and you're providing this burden, because you're not only telling them, "Hey, we might sell, but you got to keep it quiet. Don't tell anybody." "Oh, can you tell your spouse?" "Well, not really." "Well, you're going to anyway." "Well, like, these things kind of get out. And if it doesn't happen, the thing is, if it doesn't happen, you have that out there that you tried to sell and you failed. And the failure is going to fall on you. That the failure was because you, whatever reason, but it's by default going to go to the seller, not the buyer, because the buyer's like, "Well, they're smart. They're a big company. They're a, Fortune 500, whatever." It was probably you. You're probably not that good. You don't have enough money. So I think that there is a tendency to tell clients and employees, you know, earlier. And I try to get them to be told like 48 hours or less before the transaction happens, so that it's really kind of already a done deal. Everything's going to happen.